My name's Duncan Maccallum and I am probably best known as being one of the presenters for the BBC Adventure Show. My sporting background, however, is in snowboarding, rock climbing and mountaineering, and I started doing that a very long time ago in the 70s. In the early 70s I was climbing and ice climbing in Scotland, and then in the late 70s I went to Chamonix to go on my first alpine trip. And in those days you could climb almost immediately out of the town on the ice on the Bossons glaciers. Now that is no longer possible. The ice that we climbed on is no longer there. It's receded 400 meters further up the valley than just 40 years ago. The climate change in the French Alps has been really marked. It's not just the ice that's receding, the glaciers are dropping in volume. The Mer de Glace has lost 50 meters of its depth in those 40 years. And the permafrost that holds all of the rock together in mountains like the Dreux and the Blatier, it's going very, very rapidly. This means that they're falling down. The millions and millions of tons of rock have fallen off these mountains because the binding of the cold weather and the ice and the permafrost is going. It's going very quickly. And if I can see that happening in my short lifetime in the mountains, then it is a very marked and quite awful thing to see. Climate change is real, it is happening, and if we're not part of the solution, we are part of the problem. The ski industry and people in the mountains are on the front line of mountain climate change and climate change in general. We're the people who see it happen and could most readily map that change in our short lifetimes. Snowpacks are decreasing, weather is more unstable, and the conditions in Scotland in particular are becoming windier and wetter. So we're in the front line, and then we see those changes very, very markedly. Scientists and glaciologists reckon that there will be no glaciers left in the Chamonix region below 3,000 meters in 100 years. That is absolutely horrific. The Rhone Glacier itself has receded over 1,000 meters in 100 years, and it's continuing to go back. What really scares me is that things are changing, and that rate of change is something that we personally affect by our behavior. So we need to control what we do, and we also need to make sure that the choices we make around our sport are the best ones we can possibly make given the technology to slow down that rate of change.